Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
It's time for the Bonnie Share Show, a whirlwind of wit, wisdom, celebrity, and the boomer life. With a little bit of this and a lot of that and so much more you don't want to miss, here's Bonnie.
Well, hello and welcome, old friends and new. And I'm your host, Bonnie Share, and I'm here to guide you through the worlds of entertainment, the boomer life, and type 1 diabetes. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to share your thoughts. You can call us at 323-843-2826, or you can tweet the hashtag #BShareRadio. Before we get the show on the road, with Billy Stritch and then later my T1 host Gary Shiner, I'd like to acknowledge the great jazz composer and player Wayne Cobham for composing my Super Duper Hero theme song. And also I'd like to thank Corey Bowen at Crown and Anchor Jewelry. You can find him on Etsy.com, and they'll show you more of the items that he has and that he allows me to wear in exchange for this promotional message. When we come back, Grammy-winning composer, famed musical director, and incomparable performer, Billy Stritch.
Life story is more than the things you do. It's a story built on the moments you make today and the impact you have on others. How big is your story going to be? Live your legend.
And welcome back. You are tuned into the Bonnie Share Show. And we have with us today Billy Stritch. Giggles.
Hi, I love that. I love the big crowd there. It sounds fantastic.
Well, you know, they were all very excited to see you, and I didn't really want to fess up and tell them you were doing a phone-in because they thought you just skyrocket here from the East Coast.
Well, sure, of course.
Well, you're in show business. You can do anything.
Here I am from New York, immediately, right there on the West Coast. How are you, Bonnie Share?
Bonnie Share is doing just fine and wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Now tell me about the world and times of Billy Stritch.
Busy. You know, it's freezing cold here in New York where I live. So that's, but what are you going to do? But I'm about to leave to go down to North Carolina and Georgia and Florida. I'm about to go back on the road with Tony Bennett and do some shows. So I'm going to get out of this cold weather for a couple of weeks on Sunday. So that's what's coming up next for me. But, everything's just pumping right along, keeping busy and trying to stay out of trouble. That's no fun, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to stay busy and, keep moving. That's the point.
could you tell us? You know, I know, my listeners probably know that you've played for and accompanied a lot of phenomenal artists. Marilyn May, of course, one of my
Sure.
favorites.
Marilyn May for a long time. It
And
was fantastic. Yep.
of course
25
Liza.
years with Liza Minnelli.
And what is it like to
with-
work with a male as opposed to a female singer? Is there a difference?
Let's see. There's not that much difference, really. I mean, accompanying is kind of the same whether you're accompanying a man or a woman. It's just being able to figure out, where they're going to phrase and where they're going to breathe, and there's an art to it. And I always tell people that one of the reasons I like doing it, and one of the reasons I think I'm good at doing it, is that I also sing, so I kind of can anticipate the phrasing and the breathing of another singer. It's in the case of working with Tony Bennett, I've only been doing that job since middle of last September, so just about 5 months. And it's just, it's just a thrill because, he's one of the absolute, last of the great singing legends that's still out there performing with regularity. And, the audiences go crazy. We're always sold out wherever we go. It's, thrilling to hear that crowd response and to be on stage with him. And, every show's a little different, I mean, he's very loose, very in the moment, and very spontaneous, and that's what makes it fun as well. But it's, I feel very lucky and privileged to be playing for him these days.
Also, I saw on Facebook, was it yesterday or the day before, that one of your songs that you wrote had been performed. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice surprise. Well, I wasn't there, but, I co-wrote a song called Does He Love You that was recorded back in 1993 by Reba McEntire and a singer named Linda Davis. And it was a big hit on the country charts and sold several million copies. It won a Grammy Award for Country Duet of the Year, nominated for several others. And so the song, it got recorded after that by Patti LaBelle and was recorded by Liza Minnelli with Donna Summer. It's had a few other recordings, but a friend of mine Reba just sang it with Linda Davis again at the Ryman Auditorium last night in Nashville. And
that's what I saw the
clip of it. Yeah. Reba's out promoting a new album. She's just recorded an album of, I think it's kind of inspirational songs, which I don't have, but I think it went right to number one. So this concert, she did 2 concerts at the Ryman to promote the CD, but Linda was at the second show, and they got up and did the song. So I posted that little bit on my Facebook page, which was kind of fun to see them again,
I'll bet it was.
So,
it was great. I obviously hadn't seen them do that, and it was just delicious. I think Reba is one of the sweetest, dearest, at least from my estimation. I would imagine that, and there it is, I see it now. I would imagine that she takes care of songs as nicely as she takes care of her life.
Well, she, certainly is one of the most respected and top country artists, and she's a fantastic singer. You couldn't hope to have a better singer record your material. So, and you're right, she does take care of the music. So, it's always a pleasure to hear her sing that song. And now almost 25 years later, she's still singing it. So there it is.
You can't keep a good song down. Don't you know that?
Well, I hope that's true. Yeah. I mean, I think that's true. I think they keep coming back, and, it is a fun song. It's a duet song for 2 women. Which kind of gives it some drama. It's the wife and the mistress kind of fighting over the same man. So that kind of makes it fun. It makes it fun to watch live. They did a fantastic video of it back in the day, back in '93. which if your listeners are interested, they can check that out on YouTube. It's called Does He Love You? And it's really it's a great video with a great twist. Oh, I'm looking at your little page here. There's the picture of them from the CMAs that year. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Well, we happen to have the marvelous Jarvis here as my engineer today. So as we speak, this man is on it. Yeah, I'm glad
he's on it. I could see that. Yep, absolutely.
Well, even though the phones weren't working earlier, thank goodness Jarvis is here and everything is doing great.
I know, it's good.
Okay, Billy, I want you to hold whatever you're thinking for a minute, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, I want to hear more about the fabulous life of Billy Stritch. So hang on, and we'll be back.
Since when did experience become something to hide? I say we own it. Lose all that negativity. Just let it go. It's just bad energy. Oh, and lose those terrible black balloons they give you on your 50th. What's up with that?
Hey, we hear you. That's why our members love AARP the magazine. It celebrates you with fun and provocative content, from lifestyle and entertainment to in-depth reporting. And it's just one of the great benefits of membership.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
To be at peace with myself is the most prominent thing, and I am at peace with myself. I didn't deal this deck, I'm just playing the game. That's all. That's it. Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise. Been making sure they get the nutrition that I need, and it's a balanced meal. My name is Maurice McGriff. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
You are tuned into the Bonnie Share Show, and we have the pleasure of speaking with consummate entertainer and performer Billy Stritch. Join the conversation. You can call in at 323-843-2826, or you can tweet the hashtag # BShareRadio. So, Billy, let's pick up where we left off. How wonderful. I mean, one thing I find fascinating is I think that boomers across the board, I mean, we reinvent, and then when you add a life in entertainment, I think it becomes a life of constant reinvention. And you've been, aside from doing your own work, you've been accompanist to the top of the rung. What motivates you to do that other than, what makes you want, what moves you to keep doing it?
You mean keep accompanying or keep just...
keeping your hand in everything. Keeping your hand in everything.
I have no other talents, Bonnie. That's it. That's all I know how to do is play the piano and accompany singers and sing myself and do arranging and do a little bit of composing. So, I'm lucky that I'm pretty good at those things. So,
but that's kind of my point.
Else.
But that's kind of my point. You do more than one thing. You have learned and been able.
Well, that's the. Oh, I see what you mean. I think when you do more than one and you're offered or people come to you and they want you to do things. I did an interview about a month ago, and somebody asked me a similar question. And I think the main answer to that for me is that I try to just always be open to whatever I'm asked to do. So if someone comes along and said, would you write this thing for me? Or could you arrange this? I try to keep an open mind to everything and not just specifically do one thing, because there's when you do just one thing, you're kind of cutting yourself off from maybe some other great possibilities. So, the main thing I love to do, of course, it's all rooted at the piano. So everything comes from that. But I love accompanying other singers. I love sharing the stage with other people. I like that feeling of collaboration. I'm very comfortable being up on stage by myself, but it's so much more fun when you're sharing that with someone who you admire and you're friendly with and you have fun with. So, another singer that I work with quite a lot is she's an actress and singer, Linda Lavin, who most people know as a Broadway and TV actress, but she's also quite a good singer and does a wonderful act, and we just have the best time because we just laugh all the time. So I mean, I'm really lucky to work with people whose company I enjoy, and I think that's the key. For me is I mean, not the key, but that's how I've been so lucky, is just to be with people who I really like performing with and that I enjoy spending time with. That's the long answer to that question, right?
I love that answer. But also, I mean, that cast party.
And there she is. Wow, I'm just looking at it. God, your guy is right on it.
I'm going to have to pay him this week. Quit telling him that.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
Now I just lost my train of thought, but that's nothing new for me. And nobody remembers either. Well, then I'll just go on to the next thing.
Go on.
You are going down to the south, which is a good idea in that cold weather.
Yeah.
Any plans on coming out to the West Coast? Oh, I know what I was asking you about. Cast party.
Yeah.
Cast party. Are you bringing Cast party back out to the West Coast, do you think?
Well, Bonnie, we're still looking for the right venue to do it. Last time I saw you in person, I saw you in Vegas, but we did Cast party at Spaghettini's, which is no longer there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate that it closed
we're really
so
trying to find the right venue in L.A. So, I mean, Jim Caruso, who hosts it with me, he's kind of in talks with another venue, and I'm not really at liberty to say. But L.A. is someplace we really want to come back to because we have so many friends in Los Angeles and we want to be back there. So
absolutely.
I imagine it will happen, before too long.
And what about New York?
What about what?
And back in New York?
Oh, well, we do it every Monday in New York at Birdland. That's our home. So every Monday, week in and week out, we're doing the Cast party, which is,
okay, New Yorkers,
who don't
you hear
know,
that,
it's
yes.
an open mic for the Broadway and jazz communities. We have great singers. We have some not so great singers, but mostly really competent and fantastic performers. And we do this every Monday at the legendary Birdland Jazz Club on West 44th Street. And I encourage anyone making a trip to New York to include that in their plans because it's a really wonderful, quintessential kind of night of entertainment.
Well, I know I had a blast when I came to see you here. When I'm in New York next, you'll see me there. Billy, let me ask you this. How may our listeners, followers follow you?
Well, the best thing to do is to follow me I have a Facebook page called Billy Stritch Music. And I try to keep that. Actually, I have to put some new dates up there, but I try to keep that. That's pretty much the best way to keep me up to date. Or they can, if they just want to know more about my background, that's on my website, which is billystritch.com. You can also write me, billy@billystritch.com. So those are really the best ways to reach me. And I'm on the road with Tony Bennett. So that's, if you're going to see him anytime, this spring and summer, you will see me as well. So that's another thing.
Well, that's pretty damn exciting. And, I wish you nothing but the absolute best. I thank you so very much for taking time.
You're a doll. I love you, Bonnie. You're just great.
Sweeter. We'll see
Thank
you
you
soon.
so much.
Thank you. You take good care.
Okay.
Before we go to break, I would like to acknowledge the important work of the Diabetes Research Institute and really encourage you to support their efforts. You can visit them online at diabetesresearch.org. Our song of the day is coming up next.
type 1 diabetes can be living in anyone.
Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas doesn't produce insulin. It's not caused by your diet. It's not caused by anything you did.
Type 1 diabetes can be very serious.
Blindness, amputation.
Learn more about type 1 diabetes.
Help support JDRF finding a cure.
T1D looks like my brother.
T1D looks like a friend.
Type 1 diabetes looks like me.
If as and when you've got a long face, rearrange it. Don't be contented with the wrong face. There's a way to change it. Does the day look painful? The future glum? Does the sky look rainful? Hey there, say there, are you in a vacuum? All this stuff and nonsense you can overcome. A long face gets you nowhere. You lose that month of May. Like Peter Pan, the sweeter Pan wins the day. Go lose that long face, that long face. Go on and get that long face lost. The blues black out when they can see a smile that says move on, no vacancy. This panacea idea I'm handing you without any cost. There isn't any tax on it, so just relax on it. If you want trouble, double cross. Don't give in to a frown. Turn that frown upside down and go and get that long face lost. This panacea idea I'm handing you without any cost. There isn't any tax on it, so just relax.
And that, of course, was Billy Stritch singing Don't Put That Long Face On. Welcome back to the Bonnie Share Show, Boomer Life. My co-host for this segment is Gary Schreiner, who's a member of the T1D community from the great state of Pennsylvania. Welcome, Gary.
Hey, Bonnie. Great to hear your voice.
Nice to hear yours also. Gary, share your story with us.
My story. Wow. Well, it goes back a little over 30 years. I was a freshman in college and started to develop all the usual symptoms of diabetes. Eventually saw a character on MASH that had the same symptoms, so I went and got myself checked out.
Isn't that something?
So TV helped me. So might have saved my life.
So you were in college. What kind of early start did you have? Everybody remembers that day, it seems. What do you remember thinking at that time? Were you as I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but what did that feel like?
Oh, yeah, definitely overwhelming. I felt like my life was over. I didn't really understand what diabetes meant, or there wasn't much public information about it the way there is today. And I thought it was just a death sentence. And I kind of felt that way too when they gave me the diet to follow. When you're college freshman and I had the metabolism of a small country, being told I had to restrict my food intake was not taken lightly.
I'll bet not.
A difficult thing to have to do. Back then, you had to conform your life to match your insulin program, and that's changed. We now teach people to match their insulin program to conform to their life. Or as I put it, you have to think like a pancreas. You do that, you can manage your diabetes pretty well.
And do you have any little tricks for us as to how to think like a pancreas?
Well, I think the best starting point is to get my book.
Look, I gave a plug I didn't know I was giving. Okay, so tell me about the book.
Well, Think Like a Pancreas I've written 6 books, but that's the one I'm best known for, and that really goes through a lot of detail about how to match your insulin to what your body's needs are, both the basal insulin as well as the mealtime insulin, and how to make all the subtle adjustments for what life throws our way. And there's a lot that life throws our way, isn't there?
I would say a daily basis, but probably hourly is more likely. How can people find your book?
They can find it at Amazon. If they want to get an autographed copy, they can contact my office, and I'll send them a signed copy. I'll sign whatever name they want. It doesn't have to be mine.
Don't be silly. We want your name. Gary, can you tell us, there are a lot of people who are listening who already know what you do in terms of for a living as a psychologist. So do you do a lot of work with other diabetics? Do you limit your practice? Tell me about the practice, please.
My practice is based on the belief that healthcare providers who have type 1 diabetes are in the best position to help people with type 1 diabetes.
Amen.
So all of our clinicians have type 1 themselves or have a child with it. So we have a multidisciplinary team of nurses, dietitians, exercise specialists, and mental health specialists, all certified diabetes educators. And we provide the service remotely, so we have patients all over the world. Certainly across the U.S. is our concentration, but we have patients on every continent and work with them pretty effectively. We do a lot of telephone and video chat consultations. And since it is type 1, there's a great deal of data that we use in the patient care and analysis phase. So we're using a lot of web-based programs and that sort of thing.
Well, while we're on that topic, can you please tell everybody how they can reach out to you or get more information or get involved?
The name of our practice is Integrated Diabetes Services. So the website is integrateddiabetes.com, which is probably the best place to go for a full look at what we do and what we can offer. You're also welcome to contact our office by phone. We have a toll-free number in North America. It's 877-735-3648. And outside of North America, they can call 610-642-6055. And I would also welcome anybody who has questions about not just what we do, but questions related to their diabetes to send me a quick email. My email address is gary@integrateddiabetes.com.
That's what we needed to know. But let's find out some more about you. In your day-to-day life, I guess it's difficult to, once you have T1, it's part of every day. But when you're talking with patients, I think the fact that you are a T1 is essential because nobody, it takes a T1 to get a T1. So I guess my question right now is, what was it in your college years or soon thereafter when you started working on a master's degree that led you down this path? Was it a direct correlation? Was it a physician heal thyself? What do you think was behind this and has, really given you the amount of success you've had?
Well, I guess both personally and professionally, I saw a lot of people who had a gap between what they needed to successfully manage their diabetes and what they could get from their healthcare teams. I feel that as healthcare providers who treat type 1 have to really be able to crunch numbers. They also have to be good communicators and teachers, and they have to be adept with lifestyle intervention as well. There's not a lot of healthcare providers out there who are good at that. So I felt developing a team that could offer that level of service was important. And as you know, diabetes is not like most other chronic health conditions where you go to your doctor periodically. He might adjust the medication and you're on your way. This is a condition that we as patients have to learn to manage on a day-to-day basis, and it takes a tremendous amount of effort to do that. And having somebody in your corner or a team in your corner that can help guide you in that process is invaluable. So I guess I studied a little bit of marketing in college, but I just learned that if there's a need out there, that your job is to meet that need and exceed that need.
What did you do before this? Or did you come right out of school and start Integrated?
No, I got out of undergrad. I went for my master's in exercise physiology, and my first job was with a Joslin Diabetes Clinic. And I guess it was there that I learned the most. I worked with a good multidisciplinary team and was able to learn a lot about the different aspects of diabetes care, from the mental health approaches, the nutrition, the medical side of things, and the activity side, and basically put them together. That's why I call it integrated diabetes. And we try to look at the whole picture and not just one select aspect of it.
Well, I think this is fascinating, and aside from everything else, I just want to say thanks personally. It's wonderful to know that there is somebody like you out there who is taking all of this into consideration, because we are a lot more than just a shot of insulin. So right off the top, Gary, thank you. Please stay in touch with us. Let us know what's going on, if there are any events coming up or anything you'd like us to shout out for you. Know that I'm here to do that, and you never know, you might be hearing from me in the very near future. But thank you.
I like a challenge, Bonnie. That would be great.
Peace on you, brother. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to my T1 co-host, Gary Shiner. And if any of you other T1s who are viewing, or if you know any T1s who would like to occupy the T1 co-host chair, it's very simple. Just reach out to me at Bonnie@BonnieShare.com, and we'll make it happen. It really is just that easy. When we get back, plenty of views from my soapbox. Back in 60 seconds.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
And today's Boomer News comes to us from Good Housekeeping and Walmart. everything you need to know about smart TVs.
There's some great video content online, so having the ability to connect your TV to the internet is becoming more and more important to TV lovers. Here's what you need to know about smart TVs and video streaming devices. When it comes to having a TV connected to the internet, there are two main options: smart TVs and streaming devices. Smart TVs have streaming technology built right into them that connect via Wi-Fi. You can easily select apps that allow you to stream video from the web, such as Hulu, Netflix, and Vudu. For example, this 55-inch TCL TV has Roku built into it, which has the most apps of any media streaming player. And a benefit of buying a newer TV is that they offer high-resolution screens. This one here, for example, is 4K Ultra HD. And if you aren't looking to purchase a new TV, you can connect your TV to your Wi-Fi with streaming devices like the Roku Express Plus or Google Chromecast. These devices plug directly into the HDMI input of virtually any TV. The Express Plus will also connect with older TVs using the composite cable included with the product. These devices allow you to set up a wireless connection in minutes. Happy streaming!
And now the views from my soapbox. My soapbox is my take on who gets it right and who should be ashamed. So let's start out with, I'd like to give a shout out to American Heart Month. For more information, go to AmericanHeart.com. Heart attack is the leading cause of death among females. And my shout down, well, shame on Ted Cruz. His shout out of the Democrats are the party of the Ku Klux Klan. That was a statement the day after Senator Elizabeth Warren criticized Jeff Sessions. You can read about that as it was reported by the Washington Post. Now, before we say goodbye, I'd really like to thank our guests today, the fabulous Billy Stritch and my new pal, Gary Shiner. Thank you both so very much. So that's our show for today. I hope you'll return next week for another 50 minutes of celebrity life, the great boomer generation, and the great T1D community. In the meantime, you can take a look at my website. That would be BonnieShare.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @1 BonnieShare. And I'd ask you to like the Bonnie Sings Lena fan page on Facebook. Many of you are aware of the very special and wonderful relationship I had with the late Sammy Davis Jr. He was my mentor and he was my friend. So I end the show each week, Carol Burnett style, with a smile and a nod to you, Sammy. Take care of your hearts.